Question 7 is another problem with if and else statements. Let's start by highlighting the different if else statements we have. That way, while we're doing the problem, we don't get confused about where to jump to next. Our first if statement starts right here and actually ends right there too, and that's because we see the second if keyword and we know that's where our next statement starts. Else if or elif is part of that same if statement, and finally else brings us to the end of that second if statement. So this problem does only have two if else statements. Warming was initialized to true and high tide was initialized to false. So now we could start doing the work of the problem. The first if statement says if warming. Warming was true. So that means that this whole condition was true and we could do what's on the inside of that if statement. If you need a little bit more explanation in terms of understanding this Boolean logic, you could check out question 1 within this same exam series, and that might help explain a little bit how to think about it. So doing what's inside that if statement, we're going to print oceans rise. We're done with this first if statement. We could go to our second one. And that starts off with checking the condition if not high tide. High tide we know is false. So therefore not high tide will be true. Again, this whole condition is true. Therefore we could do what's inside that if. So this actually says print leaves hold. And now we don't do what comes next anymore because we did finish with that first statement. Once one thing is accepted within the if-else statements, that's it, you're done with them. And so there's no more code to execute with this problem. Looking at our multiple choice answers, we see that this matches up perfectly with B.